Hi there, and welcome to my day 12 of the 31 Days of Horror. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm catching up, and I'll be caught up before the 31 days. We've had really big days of work, and I've been passing out pretty early lately. Like, if you saw my last video, you know that I got the cast off today, so slowly but surely that's getting better. But first off, I want to give a big shout out to a good friend and a great commenter on here named James Hayes Jr., and he's the reason that I was able to do tonight's review. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, and you've listened to the opening music that I used there, that's standard. It's one of the iMovie music. That was like the pretty much for a while on my channel. It was pretty much the theme song that I use for my original opening. So that is a throwback actually to my beginnings here on YouTube when I first did an opening. Back I lived in another apartment then actually. I lived downstairs. Anyway, tonight is a Twilight Time movie. Yes, it's one of the rare Twilight Times that I have, and it is Chuck Russell's The Blob. In 1988, the Blob came out, and it was the perfect time for me. I was being close to getting out of high school, rebellious, and could completely relate to this film here. And yet again, it was something that I saw and completely fell in love with. There's a show that used to come on CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It's the pretty much the kind of PBS of here in Canada, especially here in Newfoundland. And they'd have this kind of like this afternoon show, and in it they would show like a lot of times they'd show movies. And one day they showed Chuck, I think it was Chuck Russell on there and somebody else, and they talked about Canadian horror, and I guess this was shot in Canada. So they talked about The Blob, and they talked about Hello, Mary Lou Promenade 2. And they showed a couple of clips from them, and I really remember that. Because you got to remember, this is the time I had one channel, and it was really rare to see this type of stuff on TV. But it was really cool as well. Because this is one that I'd actually seen, I'd watched in the theater. And, man, The Blob does a lot of different things than you'd expect it to do. It introduces this an extremely likable character played by Donovan Leitch Jr. And he's kind of like the football player, and he's very much kind of a Steve McQueenish character in this movie here. He has and it kind of looks like when then afterwards we meet like Shawnee Smith. You will probably remember Amanda from the Saw films as a very young Shawnee Smith here, by the way. But very beautiful. And she's like a cheerleader. So the football player and the cheerleader are getting together. And they're driving on their first date. It is actually my favorite line in the whole movie. It's just ribbed. And if you see the movie, then you know what I'm talking about. Basically, it's one of those like classic things where the Ricky Paul Golden, who's also he's a soap opera star actually, it was in this film, and he played the buddy of Donovan Leitch's character, and he goes in to buy condoms because he wants to get lucky with a girl that's played by Erica Eleniak from Baywatch. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this one. If you're really eagle-eyed, by the way, and you look really closely at those soldiers, you know that one of them is actually played by Ben Moseley. But anyway, he goes in to buy condoms, and he gets to loan some money from one of his friends, from Leitch, and the minister comes by, and he pretty much says, when he's buying the condoms, he says he's getting them for his friend over there who wants to get lucky with this naive girl, and the pharmacist is like utterly disgusted by it. He's, why can't he buy it himself? The guy needs a muzzle, not condoms, and of course, when the friend, who is completely innocent, knows nothing about this conversation, by the way, goes to pick up the girl, the pharmacist is the dad. You knew that was coming. It's a really good scene. It's well played, and it's perfectly timed. And gotta say, I really loved it. So you've seen The Blob. I'm sure you've all seen it. This gelatinous thing comes down from outer space, and it starts to wreak havoc on a town and like eat up some of the townspeople. you remember the old theme song, it creeps, it crawls, it slides across the floor. But this one works differently. I mean, this one works differently in a lot of ways. For one, Leach's character, who is extremely likable and makes a really well done leading man, is killed off early on in the film in a shocking scene at the hospital. See, in the original Blob, there was Steve McQueen. There was another guy, and they kind of played off of each other. Now he didn't. The other guy didn't die, but he kind of thought he was going to, but he actually ended up helping out. They were kind of opposing slightly, but then they helped each other out. And you kind of thought, okay, maybe it's going to play out that dynamic. Maybe there's going to be kind of a love triangle between the characters of Shawnee Smith, Kevin Dillon, and Donald Leach. Nope. It went in a completely different direction, and it actually got off the who looked to be at that point the leading man, going all psycho on us. And it did a lot of other different things from there. There's a likable sheriff. I'm just spoiler, by guys. There's a likable sheriff that's introduced, and a really likable other girl which almost is kind of like you have a budding romance. Fran, played by Kenny Clark. You have this sheriff who kind of is like, he's shy and he likes her, and they've set up for a date and stuff like that. And they look, and like in the original film, the sheriff is a huge part of the film, actually helping him, like help rallying the town to help get things done. But in this one here, he's killed off in a surprise scene. Kenny Clark runs to a phone booth, which is now a famous scene in horror cinema, and she calls the police station, and she finally gets an answer, and on the voice on the other end of the line basically tells her no, he just went down to the to the diner, and she looks, and the blob is all around her, and you can see the remains of the sheriff in the gelatinous form of the blob staring back at her. It's actually pretty horrifying and extremely well done. And remember, the effects here were done in 1988. So there's going to be some super cheesy stuff. We'll talk about the actual Blu-ray afterwards. I'm pretty sure that this one here is now out of print, I think. Anyway, so with the lead character gone and the sheriff now gone, we have Shawnee Smith and Kevin Dillon, kind of the rebel guy. Early on, we see him try to do this jump, which he can't do, and we know from that early on scene that there's going to be a time in this movie where that jump is going to be extremely important and needed to be done, and it's done, and it's very satisfying. We also have the basically a hazmat team, like a kind of a germ, this was like a biological team that comes in to pretty much to say that the town is being quarantined because they think that what came out of this meteorite was could have infected people, and this is what's causing the deaths. And Kevin Dillon tries to tell them, and they yeah, whatever type thing. Well, that'll be great help in getting to the van. We find out later on that it's not a meteorite at all. It's in a brilliantly beautiful twist. The blob is not an alien. It is not something out of a meteorite. It is not something out of a science fiction story. It is something out of a science fact story. The blob is man-made, and what appeared to be a meteorite was actually a satellite that crashed when it wasn't supposed to, and they were working on a new type of germ warfare. That's what the blob is in this thing, and that's a brilliantly done idea. It's completely throws in the wind against everything that we expect it to be. It's we see the blob. It's horrific. It's eating people. It's getting bigger and bigger. It came down from the sky. Obviously, this has to be an alien that's wreaking havoc on a town. Instead, it's something that we ourselves created. It's the alien that we've made. It's the monster made from us, from our experiments. And instead of helping the town is completely expendable. And the lead scientist lets them know that. he's very, he's very sly, and he doesn't let the town know that. He just lets some of his men know, that people are expendable, and some of them don't agree, including, I'm pretty sure it's Bill Moseley's character, but they you don't have any choice. People die in this movie like crazy. Like I was saying, lots of nice people die. Kid dies in a horrifically well done scene. Kevin Dillon, Shawnee Smith. It's not like that there's one lead in this one. I'll be honest. As Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith share the lead role of this film. This is not merely Kevin Dillon just going up and being like the lead actor in this. Shawnee Smith's character, the female character, is a pretty badass, kick-ass character herself. And a couple of times that she does get saved by Kevin Dillon, basically it's from actually either from doing the right thing, from saving other people, or from saving Kevin Dillon himself, so they actually come on and save her back. They got each other's backs, and they got it throughout the entire film. We see like tender moments coming from Dillon early on. He's playing a tough guy, but we know that he's not just that tough guy, and it's really well done. The characterization of this is extremely well done. Frank Darabont and Chuck Smith wrote this one, and that's the thing. Frank Darabont is the guy that did The Mist. He's the guy that did Shawshank Redemption. He's the guy that did the first season of The Walking Dead. He knows characterization, and he does it extremely well in this film. I'm very proud to own this film. And I guess thanks, James. Seriously, 100% thanks. I watched this movie with my better half. We watched it together. She was going to go to bed because she doesn't normally watch the horror films that I watch here, especially at night. And even this one here, she was kind of unsure about this one. But she said she was going to watch a couple minutes of it. And she just went to bed just now, just a few minutes ago, because she was really enjoying this movie as well. It is a great, great film. The Blob, the 1988 edition, and it's one of those, it's one of the BTOs, the better than originals. I love the original Blob. I think it's a fantastically well done movie and still stands up very strongly today. I do think that this is a better film than the original Blob. But that being said, both of the Blob films have nothing at all to be ashamed of. They're both extremely well done and extremely far advanced for the time that those movies were made in. And you can put on the Blob right next to the other Blob today and still just have an amazing time with both of these films. I love this film. I think it's an amazing film. I think that it's extremely well done. It has a great cast of characters. It's exciting from beginning to end. It runs 95 minutes, and like I said, like 80 to 90, 95 minutes. That's a sweet spot for a film. A lot of movies now are overtly long. They really are. They go, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and that's fantastic. But I miss the days of the 90-minute film. I really do. The 89-minute film. I think that was a really entertaining time. You could actually have double features back then. You could actually sit down and watch like 2 80-minute movies, 2 90-minute movies. We'll sit down with a friend, go to a theater, watch a double feature at a drive-in. Amazing stuff. And now that I've gushed about the film, let's talk about the Blu-ray itself. Well, one, it's Twilight Time. And as I mentioned before, Twilight Time is a company that I normally can't afford or am able to get. So it was a long time getting like any Twilight Time at all. But this one here, the presentation is stunning. It is stunning. If you do have the chance and you have to get this Blu-ray somehow, I do recommend it. It is an amazing Blu-ray. The sound, the picture, it's incredible. There's an audio commentary with director Chuck Russell and horror authority Ryan Turek, which I haven't listened to yet, actually. There's Fright Night, Frights at the Cinema Family, original theatrical trailer, and as always with the Twilight Time films, there's the isolated score, which actually a lot of people are really big fans of. I can't recommend this one strongly enough. The Blob is not just a fun movie, and it's a movie that did things different in a time when things were becoming very formulaic. This was 1988. Around then, the slasher genre, the whole horror was dying out because there was like a lot of like slasher movies and Nightmare on Elm Street films and like knockoffs of those. To have something come out that was kind of original, You know, and it's really like different, say, a remake as original, but it is, and actually do something's different, take some chances, not mind like packing in some really decent actors into a genre film, something like this, and just have fun with it. They did it, and this one here, I think, is part of the limited edition series. I think, yeah, there's 5,000 units of the Blob made. If you can grab one of those, you're lucky enough to grab one of the units for the Blob. Do so, because amazing. Thanks for watching, guys. I really did enjoy this film here. The Blob, Kevin Dillon, Shawnee Smith, Kenny Clark, special appearance by Bill Moseley, Erika Eleniak, Julie McCulloch is in it too, and you recognize her. She's the girl that I think she was a penthouse pet or a play-by-playmate like early on in her career, and she acted in Growing Pains. But because Kirk Cameron is a complete and utter asshole, he had her taken off the show because he didn't think that her morality was good enough to suit him to play his girlfriend. So screw you, Kirk Cameron. There. Thanks for watching, guys. The Blob, Twilight Time Blu-ray. Check it out. It's amazing. And that's all I got to say. Say hello to my cat that's just resting over there. My better half who just went to bed and is probably just getting ready to hit slumberland. And for me right now, you know what I'm getting ready for? You know it. It's time for tea. Have a great night, and I'm out of here. Thanks again, James. This was an amazing watch. I totally fell in love with this movie all over again. Thanks, guys. Enjoy.